Hey everybody, and welcome to AJS News. This is the first video we've got for you this week.
But first, a very important word from one of our returning sponsors.
Hi, I'm Alex with the Angry Joe Show, and I suffer from seasonal RBF, received bad gift face. This year, hundreds of millions of adults all over the world will also suffer from RBF. Hey, Merry Christmas, buddy.
Merry Christmas!
I got you something.
Yes, Legos, my favorite! I got you something too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Check that out, huh?
Oh.
It's us!
It's a macaroni picture.
Yeah, I mean the grass,
another one.
the sun, brands forever.
You spelled it right this time, too.
I was worried about that.
Wow. Yeah, it looks really, really good. Why don't you go put it on the fridge with all the other ones? And then while you're in there, you want to grab me a beer?
Yeah!
Together we can stop seasonal RBF by giving gifts that people actually want, like these amazing Extra wallets. Go to extra.com/angryjoeshow. Everything is 30% off, up to 40% off, and people will love them.
So we had to make Alex make these macaroni pictures because I was too talented for it.
It just wasn't believable.
No.
I mean, everyone would have seen the macaroni pictures that OG would have made and been like, that's a work of art.
It is.
Oh my God!
Huh?
You know that it's actually pretty well done. For
I think it really captured my face, with
I think
the
you did.
the
angry
beard.
Yeah, that's about it.
I like the beard detail.
But it's all seriousness. Go to extra.com/angryjoeshow. Everything is 30% off right now until the end of the month. And it's up to 40% off for larger purchases. So really, really great time to pick up an amazing gift for someone in your life, man, woman, anyone who uses a wallet.
I love these wallets. I've been using them for the past year before we seeked out Extra.
Yes.
We pushed them to do promotions and stuff like this. And it's been working out for them. They're super happy, super excited. You guys have told me how cool the wallets are. A few people have tweeted at me. Guys, if you got a wallet, tweet it at me. I'll tweet it out. Thank you guys so much for considering it. It's a really cool gift. Not only for you, but think of your family over the holidays, dad, uncle, anything, guys. So friends. So click the links down below. You can get a huge % off right now because of all the Black Friday stuff coming up and all the holidays. So definitely check that out if you plan on giving some gifts.
Picture not included.
And unfortunately, picture not included. No, fortunately. All right, let's get to the news.
All right. We got the October numbers for total digital game spending. And
I
stuff.
don't even want to hear it.
Do you want to know what it was?
Boo-goose.
All right. According to Superdata, this is the company that pretty accurately goes out and monitors how much people are spending on microtransactions and the other things. We had a 14% rise to hit 10.6 billion with a B, which is
That includes like all of Pokemon Go and all the other ones, right? Yeah.
So Genshin Impact, kind of a cultural phenomenon, is at the top of the charts. If you're not familiar, it's a gacha game where they take advantage of human psychology and they trick you into paying thousands of dollars for useless digital goods by giving you small chances to get cool items. But what they did is they gave it actual RPG elements so people do kind of enjoy the gameplay.
Real game.
And so it is, some people like it, but it's pretty horrible. How do you feel about $10.6 billion in digital spending? Good?
This is my nice onesie.
Don't rip that onesie.
Don't rip it, please.
Wait, does that mean you have not nice onesies?
I have multiple, yes.
Must be nice.
Hey, look, wait, this is not my phone. I don't purchase anything. I don't.
It's so hard to stay mad at Joe when he's in this fucking thing. What are you, a monkey?
I
don't
am.
understand.
This is actually mine, by the way.
Guys, oh my God.
Shocker, right?
You just broke me. You broke me.
Billion.
I'm broken. $10 billion. Oh, man.
It's only an increase, too. So
It's the way of the future.
No!
Unfortunately, it is. More games are going to implement this. It's like, oh my god, look at how much money they're making. They just had like a 14% increase, you said?
Yep.
The next year it's going to be like 20, 25.
Fucking mobile gaming, dude. Hopefully it stays in mobile gaming, and we have to hold the line on our gaming in general, on our consoles, on our PCs, to not let the mobile game trickery, tactics, microtransactions, bullshit, gouging, whale fishing, all this crap come on over into our current games. It's just a damn shame that so much money is made, but that's global, right? I mean, that's not just the United States. That has to be numbers across the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's including Chinese numbers. That's including India. That's including a lot of these other places.
Mexico, Brazil are huge players.
Right. And a lot of those people, I mean, they enjoy mobile gaming more than I think the Americans do. And maybe they just haven't played a lot of the other games. So they don't know that they're wasting their time on these, like, clickers. And if
you have a friend that does that,
I don't know.
Educate him, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Help a
Educate
friend
him.
out.
Yeah, we've seen some really impressive Chinese games, previews of things that are coming. Bright Memory is one for the Xbox, and then you've got that Wukong game coming.
That
so
looks pretty sweet.
I would hate to see those games, marred by this sort of underbelly of the gaming.
You don't want sweet
world.
new weapons and attachments for Wukong that you have to open up in an ancient
$3
chest.
each?
Yeah,
No,
open
I
up
know.
an ancient chest. It's only
Well,
a.
if they're
and
like,
fucking
what is it,
timers.
their business model? If it's like expensive, you're paying for quality.
Mm-hmm.
No,
So
so
there you
I
go.
hope that mobile gaming is increasing, but we need to hold a line as the Angry Army against this expanding tide
Hold.
of dark forces and hold them at bay from what I call core gaming. You can call that mobile gaming. This is core gaming.
Yeah.
As long as you keep them separate, I think that we'll hold the line.
Cool. Well, we'll keep updating you,
$10
but I
billion
imagine it's going
is a lot.
to. We'll get those numbers for November, and we'll see how they are. But in October, 10.6 billion. All right. Good news. You ready?
I don't know if I could do the rest of the video.
All right. Well, this is good news. Maybe it'll make you happy. Hitman developer
Hopefully.
IO Interactive teases Project 007. So they've been making good Hitman games. I'd love to see a good 007 game.
Like the original.
Remember, we did get, there was rumors of that GoldenEye project that got closed down a long time ago because the licensors were like, no, you can't do this. But that's the game that I really want. I really just want updated GoldenEye.
Yeah.
But did you watch? I mean, it's not much of a trailer. It's mainly you just see, you're looking down the barrel.
It's just the barrel
yeah.
and the song. It's terrible.
Did
But the idea of it is really cool.
Mhm.
I think that if there's one company that can do a 007 game justice, it's gonna be the company that has been doing Hitman.
Mhm.
They better be different. I don't want it to be a 007 skin over Hitman, so you have to
Yeah.
put in some of the set pieces. Hitman kind of lacks some of the set pieces and the loud, annoying, Call of Duty kind of stuff, but James Bond does kind of engage in some of those set pieces.
Everything needs to explode. There needs to be a car chase.
Yeah.
There needs to be all of that.
Who do you think they're going to use for likeness?
We need to mix them. What?
Who do you think they're going to use for likeness? Just random?
I hope he has hair.
It'll be random. They don't want to pay even more money on
Well, this
top
is
of
like
that. And
What's
Kinda
Pierce
looks
Brosnan
like it.
doing?
Let's
Now,
just have
so
a mixture
here's-
of all of them. How about that?
no, that's weird. You mean like a deep fake of all the Bonds?
Yes.
The Bond.
Yeah.
Damn it, I am the Bond.
His eyes
James
over
the
here.
Bond.
One eye over
Yeah.
there.
Shaken and also stirred and also I don't and then all the other drinks that my people like. But here's the thing. I think that it would be, okay, you want to go really cool? Let us
Yes.
play all the Bonds. Do Sean Connery.
That's going to be expensive,
do
though.
I don't give a damn.
I think
you get
they-
the
Even
you get the-
Lazenby?
you get the 007 license, then get the all-encompassing license that includes their likenesses, and then you get to choose which Bond that you go. Now that would be amazing. That's insta-buy for me. But
That would
I
be
think
pretty
they're
sweet.
probably going to
Timothy
either
Dalton
go
would be-
Daniel
yeah.
Craig, since he's the latest one, or they'll go, the generic video game Avengers, dollar store ripoff version.
Of Sean Connery
A dollar store ripoff of Sean Connery, that would be a
with
travesty.
amazing accent.
No.
I think it would be funny.
Yes, it would be funny, but.
Going for a more serious approach. Got it.
Mhm. Well, I'm excited for it. GoldenEye was one of my favorite first-person shooter. I mean, it kind of it defined the first-person shooter genre for me on consoles, and it was everything. That was the game that we get together and we would LAN, and then Halo came out.
Watch that hell, the watch,
Everything.
the
I even bought one of those
music.
watches. They used to sell those watches on
I
Amazon.
didn't know that.
Huge pieces of shit. Terrible. It's pretty much a sticker on a crappy watch. I bought it anyway, but like I love that game. So when they announced it, I was like, oh, please make a good one. Please make a good one. I'd love to get together. Split screen co-op. I want all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. In other news, Apple decided they're going to cut App Store share down to 15% for small developers. Now, Apple, Google, all the big companies, when they have storefronts like that, usually take 30% if you sell anything.
Whoa.
So Apple said, and this is like PR stuff for Apple. They're like, if you make less than $1 million on our platform, your share goes from 30% to 15%. And that actually sounds pretty good.
Apple's share goes from 30
Yeah,
to 15.
yeah. And so, well, there's not much of a but here. Now, what I do want to clarify is 97.5% of the publishers on the Apple Store would qualify for this. That means that there's instantly going to be making more money. Now, the reason Apple can do this is less than 5% of the platform's total revenue will be affected by it. Yeah. So almost all of the revenue is by these major companies. So again, if you're a small developer, this is great.
Yeah.
If you are Apple, this isn't all that bad because you're only going to lose a very, very, very small amount of your revenue.
Which shows you how shitty they have been for the past, decades.
Yes.
Yeah. Taking the smaller indie devs by double, and sinking into their pockets for 30%. That sucks. It hurts, especially when you're first starting off as a developer. Your game can explode and you can become uber popular and then make millions and millions and then have your percentages increase, but you don't care because you're making more money. But in order for that to happen, you need to have certain successes and you need to, have the ability to do so. And it's good. It's good. So do you think this comes about from the pressure?
I think that there's a huge campaign of trying to rally public opinion against Apple, which is easy to do because they're an evil, horrible corporation when, it's easy to hate on the internet.
There's a lot of Apple bots out there.
There are, but I mean, there's also a lot of people that don't want to pay $1,200 for an iPhone, and then they don't like that their batteries go bad on purpose, so it slows your iPhone down, and that's why they're getting sued over and over. So this is something that's kind of a home run for them, but this does present a couple interesting situations. It's not a sliding scale like in the U.S. taxes, where there's never a point in the U.S. where if you make more money, you make less money for taxes. But in here, if you make $1,001,001, you start losing a bunch of money. And then the other thing for Apple is in Steam, the way that Steam works is everyone pays 30% unless you start getting bigger. And then Steam goes, look, you're making us more money. We let you keep more of it the more that you make because you've already covered all your costs. Apple, it's the other way, where it's as you become more successful, you want to sell on Apple less. And you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, as you're reaching that 1 million, you're like, stop.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
We're going to stop all sales. The game is now free.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
But then if you have any mobile transactions that happen after the fact, then those are at the
shit. I was thinking, for the core game, but then the mobile transactions that will still tabulate towards your total in Apple's eyes.
Yeah, and it's taken out every period of time. I try to look, and I think it's every quarter they take that money out. So, there's going to be times where these small developers who are turning into bigger developers going, man, it sucks to get bigger because as we get bigger and as we are technically making Apple more and more money, they start taking more and more, which is the opposite.
It should be a scale. It should be a sliding scale, I think.
Yeah, but it's the opposite of the way that the other storefronts do. Epic, again, only takes 12%, but that's this whole thing. We've talked about that over and over. Speaking of Epic, who is suing them, and they're suing each other, Tim Sweeney says that on Apple's 15%, we're not fighting for a lower commission. He's not talking about, according to him now, we don't care how much money they're taking. We don't like that they have a monopoly. And it's like, no. You've said over and over and over, and we've covered it over and over, that Tim Sweeney has said over that he has issues with them taking 30%, which is why he tried to take all the transactions off there. So he's a little full of it. But people, I know people are clamoring for the lawsuit information. So I wanted to make sure I included a little bit of that stuff in there.
We'll keep you up to date. Don't worry.
Well, what was it? Didn't Tim Sweeney say something stupid recently or something like that?
Oh, yeah, all the time. On the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When?
I thought something came up. Sure, I need to start forwarding these to you when I find them. All right. Well, maybe that was it. That Tim said what?
that it's not about the percent cut. He's like, it doesn't matter how much money they're taking. That's not what we're fighting for. We're fighting for the the fact that they've got a monopoly and they don't let you use anything else. If you're on an iProduct, you have to buy from Apple. Period.
Yeah.
Okay. The big news, the big story for this week is we got the Game Award nominations. Now, it was kind of
No, here it is. Found it 5 days ago. Did we talk about this? Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney compares Fortnite dispute with Apple to civil rights movement.
Oh, yeah.
This fucking moron is. Did we ever talk about
Come
this?
again?
We in the office.
What?
Again?
What?
We talked about
Yes,
it on
Joe.
stream,
He
yeah.
thinks that these two mega-billion-dollar
Trillion.
corporations,
One's a trillion.
mega-trillion versus mega-billion corporations, is likened to the civil rights, the human right to be treated with the amount of dignity and decency, to be able to have rights, to be able to vote, to be able to be heard, to be able to participate in society in a meaningful way. This is just as bad, if not worse. No, he didn't go that far. What did he say? Sweeney called Epic's move to circumvent the fee by using its own payment system essentially an act of civil disobedience, and then compared it to the civil rights fights where actual laws on the books and the laws were wrong and people disobeyed them, and it was not wrong to disobey them. To go along with them would be collusion to maintain the status quo. Yeah. Don't.
All right. So it's like one of those thoughts that you think to yourself, and then
Because
you think about it for a second time, and you're like, "Wait a minute, that's stupid. I
Your
shouldn't think
ego
that."
is so inflated.
But he
to
had his
think-
phone in his hand,
Cleaner.
and he's just like, "Civil rights."
Yeah, he needs a screener.
I mean, I
"Can you do it?"
understand
No.
what he is saying. He's saying that there's a lot of times where people will break the law because they think the law is unjust, and that's what they are doing here. The problem is he's an idiot, and he linked it to a bunch of other stuff, pretty much shrinking down the
Crazy.
importance of one of the most important times of this country's history, and so it was really dumb. And he should stay off Twitter.
And tying into your story, Sweeney said Apple's decision that you just mentioned to reduce fees for companies generating less than $1 million, that's great for smaller developers, but ultimately it's a cynical ploy to reduce the complaints so that they can get away with the scheme in perpetually on larger companies that comprise 95% of Apple Store revenues, referring to Sensor Tower data reported by the New York Times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's great. Oh, look at that. Interesting.
Mhm.
That is a tactic. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a PR move to try to get developers more happy with them and the public more happy with them. and-
Honestly, making $2 million in the games realm, in the game industry realm, that's not a lot of money. Imagine how many game developers you have to pay, how much art you have to pay, how many assets and marketing and all this stuff. $2 million is nothing. You go on Kickstarter, you see how much money do people need to create games and things like that. So, he's right. It's like, oh, that's great for micro indies, but what about indies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even indies do. I mean, that's why we said it's 90. This article said over 97%.
Yeah. Or from 1 million or rather 2 million now, from 2 million to say 30 million or something like that. Or 2 million to 10 million. Like we said, we think the better idea is the sliding scale. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it does seem. It sucks because you've got both of these companies. They're right and they're also wrong, and they have hypocrisy on both sides.
Yeah.
And so you can make a point where Apple's like, well, why are you on our store and you're circumventing our ability to revenue share? That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, why do you have a monopoly on all this? So they all have a point, and that's why they're in court.
It's also hard to care as consumers because neither one of them are fighting for us. Like we don't see any change whatsoever.
They're fighting
Now-
for millions of dollars, but technically you could see that Tim Sweeney's he's fighting for himself, but then as a side thing, developers who are making less than $1 million, or in the future $1 million to $30 million, could see benefits if Apple were to stop charging those types of percentages.
Yeah, but from the consumer perspective, like we don't see anything, which is the issue that I've had with Epic.
Well, we would see something if they
trickle down the savings. Like I don't believe that for a second.
That more of the money would go into game development, and they might be able to put more features into more games if they have the budget for it. Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
It's up to.
I think we're talking about like a couple percentage of companies would do that, but the majority of them are like, cool, we made more money, and then we're just going to keep it. And so Epic has been anti-consumer. They've been pro-developer, but fairly anti-consumer with their like, you can only buy on here. Sure. Also, the Epic Game Store's a crappy platform. That it's getting better, but all right. Big news story this week is we got the Game Award nominations, and everyone was thrilled.
Oh, yeah.
When?
What are they?
So which one so Game of the Year. That's the big one, right?
Ghost.
Animal Crossing, New Horizons.
Game of the Year. Okay.
Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Final Fantasy Remake, also a good one.
Yes, I like it. My first Final Fantasy.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Very good
First time
game.
playing Final Fantasy
Hades.
7. Ghost of Tsushima, yes. Hades is one that
heard
Dell was talking about.
I liked Hades a lot.
Yeah,
I did not play it.
And then Last of Us 2, of course.
I could see that.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah, but...
And then pretty much the same exact games in Best Game Direction. Half-Life Alyx is in there now, which is...
No.
No?
No.
Best Narrative. Guess which one was also nominated in there. Best Art
Last of Us.
Best Narrative, Last of Us. Best Graphics, Last of Us. Best Sound, Last of Us.
Best Audio Design.
Best Audio Design. Really? For real?
Last of Us 2.
Are you joking?
No, that's
No, that doesn't have that great audio design. Are you kidding me?
There's
way more games that have better audio design.
Says Last of Us 2.
Give me the other people in the category of audio design.
Doom Eternal, Half-Life
Much
Alyx,
better
Ghost
audio.
of Tsushima,
Yes.
Resident Evil 3. What the fuck's wrong with you? No. What is that?
Now they're just
That's a
looking to
pity.
include-
That's like a
this
pity inclusion.
includes.
It's just like, come on,
So
I
we need
can't.
to fill
Seriously?
this
Right,
spot.
Best performance: Ashley Johnson, Ellie, Last of Us 2; Laura Bailey, Abby, Last of Us 2.
All the characters in Last of Us
Yeah.
2.
And then one that was weird.
Oh, did they nominate
Najee? Najee Jeter as Miles Morales, which
No, I thought. Oh, go ahead.
I don't.
You don't like his voice?
don't
Yeah,
like his voice.
We don't like his voice either. It's a little too high pitched, a little
Yeah.
nasally. We'll talk about that in the Spider-Man review eventually. But despite the tone of his voice, he does put in a good performance.
Yeah,
I'm not going to take that away from him. But I thought you were going to say Joel. Joel has been nominated for best performance.
Yeah, it was, I was about to say,
Hello, stranger. My name is Joel.
at the face.
Oh my God, we're terrible.
Yeah, we're.
Spoilers if you haven't played it.
Yeah, no, I think it's enough
It's
time now.
it's been long enough. And so people on the internet, I mean, this is the
Outrage.
story is it is what it is. We can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
The voting is going on now. People were a little bit outraged, which is how much.
Why? For
well,
what?
well,
For The
because
Last
half the
of Us?
internet is
Right.
like Last of Us 2 is the greatest game that's ever existed, and the other half.
Yeah.
Or is
Yeah,
this
I
is the
know.
worst game that's ever existed?
Story.
And it's terrible. And then there's a couple people in there that's like, it's all right. But it's only a couple of people. But everyone else is on the
I think
10
it's
or
like the worst
10
story.
or
If you
0.
guys think it's the worst story, play Life of a Black Tiger.
Oh my God! Well, you don't compare a fucking micro.
They said it was
indie
the worst.
with a triple A with beloved characters, Joe, that people think are going to be treated all right, or at least given reasons for their. Anyways, here's what's going to happen: The Last of Us 2 is going to win.
No, Ghost.
They're going to win so many awards because those are voted on by industry insiders. And as soon as the game got leaked, knee-jerk to defending the game, which is fine. I mean, obviously, a lot of people put time and effort into those things. But then when people started to bring legit criticisms, like our video,
There was no
other
legit
videos-
criticism.
Oh, right. There was no. It was the greatest story of all time, and there was a reason. There was a reason, Joe. There was,
It was too artistic. You don't understand.
You just
Oh,
don't
right.
You
get
don't
it.
get
You
it.
don't get it. You don't
You
get
don't
it.
get it.
You don't get it, Joe. But anyways, it's like, no, I do get it. I think it was stupid. But okay, and you've made me not give a shit at all about The Last of Us 3, and I think please stop making those games. You're gonna do even worse. And we're in a direction now that I don't care about. You basically butchered the characters that I cared about, and that's it. Cool, thank you, appreciate it.
And they're shoving
moving
down
on,
the character
right?
down your throat.
And shoving a new character down your throat, exactly. So, but like I said, the industry knee-jerk to defend it, and then when legit criticisms came out, they still knee-jerk to be like, no, dismissed.
Yeah.
All of you guys are racists. You're homophobic. You're weirdos. And so then they bundled all those people together.
Oh, virgins. IGN called you a virgin.
That's right. Virgins that have never had sex in their life before.
Or never touched a woman.
Never touched a
is
woman.
What IGN, an editor of IGN, actually said. Like, tweeted that out.
I know, an actual video game journalist. Great, thanks. No, I just didn't like it, but
I cried myself to sleep after I read that.
I know.
Truth hurts, OJ.
It does.
Hurts.
Anyway, so I do think it's going to win a fuck
a lot.
ton of
It's going to win a
awards.
lot of awards, yeah.
And it might deserve some of them, but
They look great.
Parts of the game were incredible.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the way that some of the parts. Well, look, there's an entire video if you
Okay.
want to know.
All right.
But what's important, this
Dude,
fundamental.
we should do something on the Game Awards, by the way.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we will be doing a video on the Game Awards, so stay tuned for that. Whether we do a live stream for it or a edited video afterwards, we'll promise that. To
Well,
you
don't
guys.
jump off Last of Us 2 too quick, because
Okay.
HBO just greenlit the TV adaptation of The Last of Us.
Oh boy.
Did they-
Any involvement by Neil?
Yeah.
Druckmann? Oh.
This series is sure to resonate with both diehard fans and newcomers.
Do you think Neil maybe will take any amount of feedback from all this
No.
controversy?
He won't
Or
listen
will
to
it
me.
make him so much more resolute and set in his ways? It says these people are all racists and weirdos and weirdos, or do you think he can change the story? Do you think it will?
No, there will be no changing of the story.
Because it's like, why the fuck would I watch it then? I've already fucking went through the whole thing, and I know where it leads, and I don't like where it leads.
So one of the people involved told the BBC that the show would include new material mixed in with reimagined scenes taken from the first two, but our goal is not to keep you in love with the. Our goal is not to keep you in love with The Last of Us, but to make you fall in love with it again in a different way. Wow, that is a terrible break in a sentence.
You fall in
It's a
love
passive.
twice.
It's a
Got
passive way of taking in instead of playing it, but you'll experience more with more characters in more ways. I think we've got something good going.
So we're gonna do Ellie, right? We don't even know. It could literally be some side story.
Parts of 1
and
and
we
2.
run into Ellie and Joel every once in a while, or it could be Ellie and Joel. Like at this point we don't know, or do we?
I think
from that
I
article?
think we
It's
do
just
have
Joel
we do
and
have it is
Ellie, right?
confirmed story elements of part 1 and part 2. And I'm not super opposed. I think that the story of
I
The Last
am.
of Us 2 can work if it was directed
By someone
better than
else?
it was,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so if you give more respect to
Oh.
scenes that we didn't like, right? And so if you make scenes and you give people
More
time,
context,
more context,
more-
time to
Flesh it
mourn,
out.
flesh
Okay.
things out,
Right,
I think-
because again, our problem wasn't simply the fact that Joel died. It was the way in which Joel died, and it was the way in which it was presented, and it was in the way in which the game forced it upon you, and the way the game's message by the end, which was completely muddled and fucked up. So actually, but that's what I was saying before, Alex, that I was like, do you think that if he is the creative input on it, he will change his mind and do it in a better way? And it sounds from this marketing
doesn't have-
material that it will be in a better way.
I do think so too. When I read the article, I was hopeful because one, HBO has control. They're like, look, this is something that you're involved with, but Neil Druckmann at the time that he made this game was the end all be all. He's like, this is the way it is.
Right.
You have to listen to me. Now he's got other people that are like, look, we need this scene for context, or we need this for closure. We need this to make people
we
not
know
hate
that-
the main character.
We know that because Naughty Dog at the time, there was internal struggles even on this story.
Yes. And so I am hopeful for this, and I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, hopefully it is good, and hopefully
Joe?
someone have twisted his arm.
You going to give it a shot?
Yeah, as soon as you give me a password. It's on HBO, right?
All right, Joe. Goddamn. I'll give you my password. That is yet another thing that you moved on. Anyways, so
Saving you money.
Yay! I'm saving Joe money. That should change my tagline.
Well, if you're
To
looking to-
saving other Joe
Yeah.
money. Angry Joe Show.
If you're looking to save money yourself at the end of this year, maybe go to extra.com/angryjoeshow. Like I said, everything is 30% off. It's a great gift. Look, you don't buy socks or a tie.
This
or-
is cool as shit,
yeah,
guys.
You
Seriously.
use it every day. Slippers that someone's going to use once.
Every single viewer and fan who have purchased this have said, "Dude, this thing is fucking awesome, man. Thank you so much." And it's 2020. You upgrade, you don't need this big old freaking wallet that you see Joe had a long time ago and stuck with all the receipts.
back
It's been
problems.
so liberating to have something as cool as this. So check it out. And then plus you get to impress the people. When
It's its own little fidget spinner too.
Again,
that you coming.
one and
All right,
done.
guys.
One
So
and done.
click the links down below. We want to thank them for sponsoring us. We want to thank you guys for checking them out. And please stay tuned for video 2 of the news. And we shall see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.
Bye, guys.